So people have been asking me about a new Vauban build, basically ever since he got reworked, and I really thought about it, like all the time. I really wanted to do it, but I kind of went about it the wrong way without ever giving it a second thought. I did what I do with most frames. I kind of just sat here and I tried to come up with like the ultimate build for a video, right? The ultimate Vauban build that is literally going to blow your socks off. You just open the video and whoosh, you are now sockless, desperately scrambling about trying to find some cover for your newly nude feet. But that's not how Vauban works. Vauban is just this blob of crowd control and utility, and I guess an orbital strike now, that you kind of need to tailor for yourself. So in the end, instead of trying to come up with some super niche build that can do one, maybe two things really well, I thought it would be a good idea to show you a sort of basic quality build that you can build upon if it doesn't quite suit your needs. So here's what the build looks like, and it actually doesn't require any format if you have Vauban Prime, because you have more than enough polarities to fit everything in. The aura I'm using for this is Energy Siphon, mainly because I'm just lazy and Vauban is such a chill frame. I just want to chill, I don't want to jump in and out of operator form all the time, but if you want more damage you can easily put in Corrosive Projection instead. And it really shouldn't be a big deal, especially if you're running with Zenuric, so you can get yourself some energy through Energizing Dash. After that, we're gonna add some power duration with Prime Continuity and Augur Message. If you don't have Prime Continuity, just slap in normal continuity instead. And those are here mainly to just reduce energy consumption, right? Your abilities last longer, so you don't have to spam them as often, so your Energy Siphon or Energizing Dash have more time to replenish your energy. After that comes power range, and I personally went with Stretch, Cunning Drift and Augur Reach for extra 90% range, but this is probably the stat that you're gonna play around with the most. And it's basically all to do with your Bastille, right? Do you want your Bastille to be really, really big? Add more range. Do you want your Bastille to not be really, really big? Add less range. So this one is very much up to you. After that, we have some defense, and I personally went with Adaptation, which is just really strong, especially if you're running Vitality and something like Grace and Guardian on top of that. But if you don't have it, you can easily run Steel Fiber, Redirection, or even Vigor or Prime Vigor. After that, I have Vitality for some extra health, which works really well with Adaptation, and I followed that up with Repelling Bastille, which is basically the Bastille and Vortex augments in one. So it has the Repelling Bastille portion, where if your Bastille is full and an enemy goes into it, it will repel them outwards, and it also has the Vortex portion, where if you throw a new Vortex into an already existing Vortex, it adds 70% of the duration to the old Vortex. Though the Vortex part is really not worth doing, it's better to just wait for the Vortex to run out and then throw a new one. And the final mod is kind of up to you. I personally went with Streamline, so my abilities are a little bit cheaper, but another really good option here would be to go with Flow or Primed Flow, and in that case you could use Quick Thinking for defense instead of Vitality. Or you can put something else in, right? Something you want on the build, whether it is more strength, more range, duration, or even natural talent for faster casting. Now I also thought about adding in the Orbital Strike augment, the one that makes it so that if you hit at least 5 enemies with it, the next orbital strike is free, but you can also just bring an explosive weapon, right? So that one didn't quite make it. Now the idea behind this setup is very simple, right? You can be fancy with it and you can buff yourself and you can throw the little zappy boys, but you're mostly gonna rely on Bastille and Vortex. So most of the time the choice is gonna be, do I keep them spread out with Bastille or do I pile them up with Vortex? That's pretty much it. And I know there are like a bunch of new gadgets that you can use, like the shrapnel mines and the boost pads, but let's be honest here. If you're using Vauban, you're probably using him because he has Bastille and or Vortex. And that's fine, because they're really good, I mean the best even, at what they do. And the same, by the way, can be said about Vauban, right? He's really good, the best even, at what he does, which is just mad crowd control. And some utility, and I really don't know what people want from DE when they like constantly shout for Vauban to be reworked, because he's already really good at what he does. The problem isn't with Vauban, the problem is that the thing he's really good at isn't as desirable as it once was. That's why Vauban always stays the same, and why they never really change him. They just shuffle the gadgets around and every now and then give him like an orbital strike. So while he is really, really good at what he does, he's not really desirable, unless you want an insane amount of crowd control. If that's what you're looking for, he's your guy. And the build I showed you is a really good starting point for him, because it does everything pretty well, but it can also very easily be tweaked to have more range, more duration, less duration, more strength or less strength. So if you feel like your abilities are running out too fast, add more duration. If you would want a bigger Bastille, add more range. If you want your Bastille to strip away armor faster, add more strength. That kind of stuff. I feel like that's the best way of doing things with Vauban. Make it do what you want it to do. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say, so I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video and you found it helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.